Hi, I'm Tameika Devine. I'm a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, and a city councilwoman.
Hello, I'm Jamie Devine, a husband, a father, and a community champ. I've been married to my wife, Tameika, for over 15 years.
Join us as we interview some of our favorite couples, hear their stories, and be inspired.
The secret to our successful marriage is that we are very intentional about our date nights.
Marriage is a partnership.
But thank you so much for joining us. This is our very first opportunity to do a live date night with the Devines. So Date Night with the Devines is a web-based show that Jamie and I started in January this year. And so over the course of the last few months, we have been interviewing other couples about love, marriage, and just things that we think that other folks need to hear. And this year, when Darren asked us would we be willing to do something on the main stage here at Black Expo, we thought this was a great opportunity for us to invite another amazing couple, someone who inspires us, and keeping with the theme of Black Expo, economic empowerment and understanding about wealth building and wealth generation. So it is indeed our honor and privilege for you guys to be here and hear from our amazing guests. So I'm going to let Jamie introduce himself and our guest.
Sure. Be glad to. The wife has already told me what to do, so here we go. I am Jamie Devine, the husband of the Honorable Tameika Devine, who is our Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Columbia, and extraordinary many hats that she wears around town. And just sad to be here, and I also serve as chairman of the Richmond One Board School Commissioners as well, and also the father of 4 great children, Tamia, Jade, James Henry, and Jameson. James Henry was born into heaven 5 years ago, and so we are honored still to be here to be his father, although he's not with us here. But we have 3 wonderful children on this side of Florida, so we're glad to have those young people that we inspire each and every day. So just a little bit about our guests. I will introduce Rob this morning, Rob Holland, known as one of America's top 10 alternative retirement experts. Rob is on a mission to help families across the country forever to improve the understanding of the real estate secrets of money, and to see what it's possible to build a multi-million-dollar business retirement accounts so they can build financial security, ensure that children's financial future will be financially rewarding, and activate lasting wealth that passes down from generation to generation. And Rob is also was listed in August 2013 as one of America's top 10 leading retirement experts in the area of wealth preservation, has assisted countless clients save on taxes and reduce insurance costs. He's also helped build sound business infrastructure and locate financial cash infusions for small business operations. Let's welcome Rob Holland to the stage today.
And it's indeed my honor to introduce you guys to LaShawne Holland, the other half of this amazing dynamic duo. So LaShawne, as one of the nation's leading experts on the art of activating wealth potential, financial architect, entrepreneur, and chief financial officer, LaShawne Holland is the founder of the Wealthy Leaders Institute and chairman of LaShawne Holland International, doing business as Holland & Holland Enterprises, LLC, a financial development and wealth activation education company focusing on financial literacy education, money mindset mastery, economic elevation, and wealth empowerment, innovative business systems, education, and peak investment cycle performance strategies. She's the author of The Wealth Covenant for Couples, which hopefully we'll talk about, and founder of the Wealthy Women Rock Live event and the Money Made Easy Masterclass Network. I have to tell you that I met LaShawne actually about 5 years ago. We were both in a mastermind together, and I was immediately in awe of not just her wealth of knowledge in regards to financial empowerment, but also as a wife and a mom, she pours into her kids while also building an amazing empire. So I think these two are wonderful people for us to discuss today: wealth building, wealth generation, and how we, particularly in African American communities, build wealth and keep it within our communities. So welcome, guys. Y'all help us welcome LaShawne. And let me add again, we all here know what why we're called famously hot in Columbia. So LaShawne and Rob have gotten the famously hot welcome to Columbia in more ways than one. And so we want to make sure that this session is not just empowering and engaging, but also entertaining. So please make sure that we give them the famously hot welcome in the good way, not the big hair way like I'm experiencing today. So let's just kind of get started. You guys have been married going on 25 years, and you have 3 beautiful children, and I've noticed over the years of watching you guys and knowing you, kind of where you are now. But tell us pretty much how you got started. How did you meet? And both of you are in finances, so were you always interested in financial education, or did that just kind of come over the years?
So good afternoon. Good afternoon. And first of all, I want to thank Jamie and Tameika for having us. We're happy to be in South Carolina, although it's hot. Y'all bring the humidity down here. See, we're from Maryland. So in Maryland, this time of year is 70, 75 degrees, but the humidity is not where it is here. So we got surprised. But nonetheless, we're happy to be here. Thanks again for having us. They've been great hosts so far. So in August, we will be married 25 years. So, amen. That's what we're married. Now, let me tell you this. Married 25 years, but we both come from homes where the parents were not together. So you need to see there was a shift that occurred for both of us because we came out of homes where our parents had separated. So that's God in and of itself. 25 years of marriage, and I'm not talking a rocky road, right? I'm talking getting better every day. It hasn't been a near divorce and we're back together or near separation. It's been heaven on earth, let me tell you. It's been heaven on earth. So we met in high school, 1987. Okay, we met in high school, 1987. She'll probably correct the story, but I was a bet. I was a $5 bet. And she could not get my telephone. Jamie, a $5 bet. I couldn't even get a 10 or a dozen. I couldn't get a 20. I was a $5 bet.
That's all I had.
$5 bet. Needless to say, that was absolutely amazing and it worked out on my behalf as well because I'm connected to a beautiful woman. So anyway, we met in high school, we dated, we graduated together, we went to the prom together. But she came to North Carolina to go to college. I stayed originally from Maryland and DC, I stayed and went to Howard. So we separated for a while. And then we're coming back together here. And I'll let you wanna add anything to that? No? Okay. We have been blessed with 3 amazing children. Oh, okay, so I'll get to that. We've been married, like I said, we've been married for 25 years. We have 3 amazing children. We have a 24-year-old son named Adam. He's a University of Maryland graduate with an econ degree. We have a 22-year-old Penn State graduate who's a football player. You see my wife flashing that ring. She got the bowl ring from this past year. She wears around every day because she swears Jonathan gave her the ring. So she's just been wearing it like it's hers.
He's just hating my son to give it to his dad.
She cheered, but she never played in the game. And then we have a 19-year-old daughter, Zoe, who is currently a freshman in college. So, and I will say education is big for us, as you can tell. And then, what was the last thing?
Was finance, yeah.
Right, so I'll give you my side. As a trade, I'm an engineer. So I didn't get into finances until about 11 years ago, right? So, but I'm a guy who walks through and looks at moldings in the building. I look at architecture, that kind of thing. That's really, I'm very good with my hands. Also have a patent. So things like that I've been heavily involved in. But about 11 years ago, I got involved in finance. And it just completely shifted. I think engineering was more of a passion, something that I enjoyed growing up. You know, my dad was a DC police officer, but he was also kind of like a shade tree mechanic. And so he would pull me in a lot to help him out. So, but that really wasn't a love of mine. So, but finance was about 11 years ago. I'll let you tell your portion of that story.
Finances for me was, now looking back, always a part of who I was. I remember I tell the story in my book of how I remember my third grade teacher having to stand up and say what we wanted to be when we grew up. And most of my classmates were saying stuff like, you know, astronauts, doctors, attorneys, the things they were trained to say. And I remember standing up saying, I don't want to be broke when I grow up. And so that's as far back as I can remember, but finances has always, my degree is in accounting. But my accounting degree did not teach me how to create wealth. Totally two separate things. You're trained to be someone else's, you know, labor as an accountant. And so it was always a part of my life, but it really didn't shift for me until I was pregnant with my first child. And I remember sitting in his nursery, and I started to cry. I'm first generation college graduate in my family, and so I worked 3 jobs to put myself through college. And so I remember sitting in his nursery thinking I didn't want my child to start from ground zero. I wanted him to have a different experience in life. And really that was the shift for me for that moment that I decided to get out of debt. We tell audiences all the time we haven't used a credit card, personal credit card, in probably over 2 decades. Because I was determined once I went out, I was never going back. So cash couldn't get it for me, I wouldn't have it. And so that's when we made the decision to start a business that changed our lives. So, well, just a kind of sort of follow-up to that is, and we talk about that, particularly in the African American community, about building wealth and building generational wealth. And I think that's a powerful story about not wanting your children to start at ground zero. But the reality, I guess, so much for us is, it is a mindset that a lot of us don't have. So kind of share with us about what was that mindset, how was that mindset shift for you guys? And what do you share with other clients and couples, particularly couples starting from ground zero, so that they can have that mindset shift? I think, because I started before you, I started reading a lot of books. And I think the first book that I read was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Or it may not have been the first book, but it was a book that I can remember that shifted my thinking. And so once that happened, I've always been an avid reader. I grew up in a household every day after dinner. My grandparents, you had to have something in your hand to read, whether it was the newspaper or something. And so I started reading Rob and like to read. And so I would lay in the bed and I would make sounds like, oh my God, that is so good. And I would tell him what I was reading. And finally, one night, he was like, what are you reading? And I started sharing with him things, but by that time, I showed him my plan for us getting out of debt. Excuse me. And men go by what they see, not what they hear. And so with him, I knew I had to show him what was possible. And, women go by what they hear. I had started going to seminars and reading more books and learning stuff that I didn't learn in college and no one had ever taught me about money. And so once I started applying those things to my life, that's when the shift really happened. But the shift happened because I invested in books and educational classes, and I would save up. Before we got into real estate, because we also own a real estate investing company, I wore a ponytail for a whole entire year. I took my nails off, and the money that I would spend and going to get my hair and nails done, I would keep it in a drawer, so I could save up enough money to go to the real estate class in Atlanta that I wanted to go to start learning how to invest in commercial real estate. So there were a lot of sacrifices that we made along the way, but that's because we had a vision that was so much bigger than where we were currently.
That's awesome. So I was just going to say, it's important for the married couples, LaShawne said one vision. And one vision is probably the most important thing that continues to drive us today, right? Because you can live in a house, husband and wife, under one roof, except there can be that vision.
Right.
two visions. There has to be one vision. And what happens with one vision is, with every move, every strategic move that we make, every purchase that we make, there's agreement because there's one vision, not division. Most couples get into arguments and disagreements and in some cases eventually divorce because of money, because there is division. So I think it's important, as if you're preparing to get married or you are married, that you talk about your financial goals. We sit down on an annual basis and talk about our financial goals. It's that important to us because it helps us grow together and it helps to unite that one vision. But I'm just saying, as goals and vision, that happens annually.
That's pretty awesome. Actually, you must have read my cue card because my next question was, a survey was done by Money Magazine that showed 21% of divorces are caused by money issues. And again, you gave that advice to couples when it comes to financial management. Are there any of the tips and strategies that you can give to us, to our audience, when it comes to financial management? And let me add to that, I think I know the answer, but which one of you manages the money, if you will, or manages the strategy or the vision? Because somebody has to say, okay, let's meet, let's talk, let's strategize, let's look over where we are and where we want to be towards our goal.
Great question. So I'll answer the second one. So in the opening, y'all heard who the accountant was and who the engineer is, right? So wisdom says, even though God calls me the head of the house, wisdom says, you let the accountant manage the checkbook. But understand there has to be vision, there has to be unity for that, right? I trust her with everything I have. I don't have to check the checkbook or check the accounts to make sure that there's not a separate account. I trust her with all that I have, with everything that I have. We have separate business accounts, okay? But she has access to my account and vice versa. That's because it's two separate businesses. But still, there is no he money or she money separate from each other. So, if I could pass you on a piece of advice, whichever one is best with the money, let that person be the one that handles the money, man. Don't feel like that's the head, you have to handle the money. Wisdom says, you let the person who's been graced to do it operate in that grace.
Yeah, the second part of that was the tips. And so, one of the things that we did in premarital counseling before we got married, that we still do by today, our pastors had us for 15 weeks, name one subject every day to discuss it. And when he was talking, I could not interrupt, I couldn't try to defend my stance, and then when he finished, I would say, I understand you feel like, and I would repeat back to him to show I was listening, and then I would say my side. And so we still do that to this day, but we started picking subjects. And so we call them love covenants for couples.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and so one of the things that we decided before we got married is that we would never argue over money.
Right.
And in 25 years, we've never had an argument over money. And so we switched, early on when we didn't have much money. The second old covenant was we would never speak poverty over our finances. And so when there wasn't any money in the bank, I would just say, it's not financially feasible for you to go to the ATM today. Maybe you're not doing anything out.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we have certain covenants that we live by, and so we still live by those covenants to this day.
So let me just ask a general question, going back on that same road. So you have the covenant, you have the vision, but you're still human. Right.
Yeah.
I know you said you don't argue, but at some point you realize, okay, I don't have, or we don't have. So how do you control that human side that says, I want to do, or I want to have this, or do something, I want to do that?
It does take a level of selflessness. Most of the time when people argue, it's because they're being selfish in some area. And so there's a scripture in the Bible says that the peace of God rules as an empire. And so I'll use this as an example. When we were going out to buy our first house, I would like a house, he wouldn't like it, we would just leave it. Or he would like a house, I wouldn't like it, we walked away, we weren't gonna argue over it. And then we eventually found one that we both fell in love in. So, that's another one of our covenants is let the peace of God rule as an umpire. And so if we don't have peace in it, there's nothing to me. I've made a decision that there's nothing more important than my relationship with my husband. So I'm not arguing over a car, it's just a vehicle. I'm not arguing over a house, I'm not arguing over anything. He lives by the principle though, happy wife, happy life. So maybe that's why I feel like
Okay,
that.
all right. We all grown in here, right?
All right.
The money right,
That's right.
the honey right.
Come on.
So we're not trying to mess that up.
So what you're saying is that in order to have peace, in order to get peace out of the valley, you have peace in the valley, then you feel all right. That's no problem.
I think one of the other, we mentioned the wealth covenants. One of the other ones I would like to bring out is it's important from the time we got married until today, and it's changed, but we established a dollar amount that we do not exceed without okaying with the other person. So see, if I'm out and I want to buy some new shoes, and the shoes are $100, and we establish $50, I'll pick up the phone and say, baby, I'm in whatever, and I want to buy some shoes. Are you okay with that? See, that's honoring the vision that we have as a couple. But it's something that's so small, but it's honorable to the vision that you've established and the agreement that you made. And like I said, that amount has grown over the years. I don't call it $400 now, but that's something that we established early on and we continue to carry through our marriage.
I want to thank Councilwoman Tameika Isaacs Devine, first African-American woman elected to the Columbia City Council.
Committed. She is very committed to the improvement of our community.
Bold in that she's willing to talk about difficult issues.
Not only is she a leader in her community, she's a leader in her sorority. She's an excellent example of what leadership is.
I'd go anywhere, anytime to do anything for Tameika Isaac Devine.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Jermaine Johnson, and I'm excited to be bringing to you our new podcast entitled Build a Man. So we're going to be talking about all things man-related. We're going to talk about politics, business, anything that can help a man become the strong foundation that we know he's been called to be.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of the wealth building and generational wealth building. So you guys are entrepreneurs. I know, LaShawne, your grandfather was an entrepreneur. So in our conversations, you and I talked about how entrepreneurship always was something that you could see yourself doing. But as we know, and I think the organizers of this Black Expo, one of the pillars that they talk about is entrepreneurship. And one thing that I've always been impressed, and I'll share with you guys, when I first met LaShawne and first heard her story, the first thing that stood out to me, especially as a mom, is when they're taught by their 3 children, and their oldest 2 are boys. Your boys were entrepreneurs at 7 and 8. Is that when they started?
No, Zoe was 8.
And
they were like
11, 10, 11. And they were Black Enterprise Teenpreneurs or Youthpreneurs of the Year. And so you clearly have not only, taught them some things, but clearly showing them through your entrepreneurial efforts about the benefits of entrepreneurship and building wealth. And even now, and I kind of shared this with you guys, even now, I love it. They, as part of the conglomerate, and eventually I want y'all to talk about Holland Enterprises, but at Holland Teas, which one of their sons runs, and I love tea, and so I ordered the teas, and I got into this niche. I had two that I particularly loved, and I ordered them over and over. And Adam sent me an email and says, Ms. Devine, I see that you seem to like these. May I suggest? And he gave me a list of others. And then so I said, okay, I'll try it. I got my shipment. And it was a handwritten note in the shipment saying, please let us know how you like them. And if you don't, please, we will handle that later. So it was just the customer service part of that entrepreneurship, I just want to point out, at a young age is really instilled in them. But you talk to us about wealth building as entrepreneurs, and particularly what do you taught your children, and what do you do to make sure that you're not just growing one business, but multiple businesses and really an enterprise?
So I think for us, you heard us talk about earlier vision. And so we knew from the beginning when we made the decision to be an entrepreneur. I think for me, I had just had Adam, and I had a boss, and we had really bad ice storm in DC in '94. And I had to leave. My mother was watching Adam, and I was nursing him at the time. Mom, don't give him all this milk, what mothers do, they don't pay any attention to you, you don't know what you're doing. And she gave him all this milk, so I had to leave work early. And the next day, my boss called me in the office and told me I needed to find another method to feed my child. And for a new nursing mom, and I guess I've always been a little bit radical anyway. Okay, I was radical. I didn't even go back by my desk. I went straight in the jar and wrote on a napkin, I quit. And I left. And I just decided that no one had the right to tell me how I could raise my children, or had the right to tell me when I could use my leave, or how much money I can make in a year. I've been a rebel like that.
You get a salary.
Yes, you do get a salary, and I worked a bigger salary than when I was in. And so I wanted to be able to create my own wealth, and I didn't want to have to wait. I remember my boss one Christmas saying, all the employees who's coming to our office, are we getting bonus checks? And I called him on the phone, and this is the CEO of the company, and he giggles and laughs, and he says, oh, I forgot, he was out shopping with his family for Christmas. And I have all of these employees waiting, and he just forgot to do it. And so I was like, I just don't want my kids' education to be determined, or what I can't provide for them by one individual. And so we just started working our business at night. We didn't use our kids as an excuse not to do business. They came everywhere with us. So one of the things we started doing very early on was we had vending machines. And so they would be responsible for going to Sam's Club with us, getting the products, putting them in the machine. They was with us all the time while we were doing business. If we were meeting with our real estate attorney, they sat right in the seats with us. If we were going to scout out properties to buy, they was with us all the time. If I was meeting with a contractor, they was there all the time. So we kept them, even when we got our brokerage firm, we kept them in the room at the table all the time. And they saw the freedom that provides you. We never missed a football game. My son played from 4th, 5th grade, all the way through college. He just graduated 2 weeks ago. We never, the reason why we're able to support them the way that we can is because of the financial freedom that we created.
I just wanted to add, you have children. How many people in this room have children? So it's important to raise them up, right? The Bible says, train a child in the way that he should go. When he's old, he won't depart from it. We just created an environment of entrepreneurship. I'll give you an example, because Sean really already said it. I'll give you an example. Last year, we were on vacation in Mexico, right? We in Cabo, we were in a house with Airbnb, it's a beautiful house, right? We are, and it's sunny at 85 degrees outside, okay? We're sitting in the house playing Monopoly, because that's what we do as a family. 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. We need to instill that in the generation early, because what does it do? It changes perspective, right? It changes mindset. Not one of renting, but one of ownership. And so to today, our kids are grown. We sit in the house and we play Monopoly. Not just for ownership, but also negotiation. Right? You learn negotiation through that. But as LaShawne said, just to echo, we raise them in that environment. Don't keep them out of anything. Right? They act up that first time in the boardroom, but eventually you threaten them long enough, they'll sit there and be quiet, but it's an opportunity for them to learn how to operate in that environment. Don't keep them out of it.
So one of the things when you think about wealth generation, there are, there's entrepreneurship, there's making sure you're investing. Rob, particularly, you're very skilled in understanding retirement strategies. And as I talk to particularly African Americans, and especially around our age, we're thinking about sending our kids to college and saving for that. We're also thinking about our retirement and saving for that. And then, our generation has the thing about also, we have parents that are aging that just don't have enough probably to be able to retire the way they should. And so there's a lot going on in our sandwich generation. So what are some of the things that you think that people need to be cognizant of and working towards to make sure that they are building real wealth? And when I say real wealth, I mean, some of us hear, so-and-so's going to make $100,000. We're like, oh, that's good. But the reality is real wealth is more than that. And some of us really can't, we can't conceive it. So share with us some of the things that we need to be cognizant of and looking at and what we need to be trying to work on now.
So I would say, two things. The two greatest assets we have are earning power and time. Okay? If you haven't written anything down today, you need to write that down or type it in your phone or text it to your friends. Those are the two greatest assets we have, earning power and time. We have to begin to leverage the time that we have. Okay? You can't rewind the tape, but what you can do is start today. And where am I going with this? 401k, you need to have some sort of IRA. There's also other forms of, you can use life insurance to do the same sort of thing. I don't want to go too far, but you have to start today. If you have not started putting money away towards your future. There are advantages and disadvantages to both, but there is no shortcut for time. Right? So regardless of where you are today, start investing for your tomorrow. And if you say, I don't have enough money, one of the things I need you to realize and think about this before you make a purchase. With every purchase you make today, you are taking away from your future self. Especially for my young people in the room. Every purchase you make today, you are stealing from your future self. So you can't afford not to put money away for your future. There are programs out there, so my wife, she nudged me, Index Universal Life, okay? I don't want to lose anybody, but there are advantages to using life insurance over qualified plans or TSP, 401k. There are other plans out there that are more tax advantageous to you and also more probate friendly so that money can be passed down from generations. Unfortunately, in our community, what we tend to pass down is debt. We need to change that. So 11, 12 years ago, that's what got me into this field because there is such a gap. We have been so uninformed. We've been sold term life insurance because it's cheap, it's inexpensive. The problem is it does not build generational wealth. 2% of term life policies are paid out. And it's not because the life insurance company doesn't pay, it's because we live. It's because we live. So the life insurance company wins the bet. They thank you for 30 years worth of policy, premium payments, and they tell you you're now age 65. What was $50 a month is now $5,000 a month. Okay? And term insurance is not a wealth strategy. If you meet with an insurance agent and they try to sell you term insurance, think about this. What other things do we purchase in a 30-year chunk? A mortgage. Term insurance is great for a mortgage. It is not a wealth strategy. It's great for income replacement. You have a husband and a wife that are married and both income earners. You can make up a salary with term insurance. If you want to build wealth, you have to use permanent life insurance. Permanent life insurance, okay? Another advantage to it, taxes. Now, 401k, let's deal with IRA. I'm gonna deal with taxes. Am I okay? I don't want to take up too much time. Okay. If you, how many people in here purchased a car? By raising your hand. Okay. There were two things, once you went through negotiations and everything, you picked out the car, there were two things that I hope you wanted to know before you walked out of that dealership, right? Those two things are, or should be, how much do I owe you on a monthly basis? And when do my payments start, right? Or what is my interest rate? And when do my payments start? Right? Those two things you want to know. Understand that if you have an IRA or a 401k, the way the system is established, neither one of those two questions have been answered for you. Neither one of those two questions have been answered for you. What the interest rate is, right? Because you put your money away pre-tax, but tax rates change all the time. So you may put your money away at 30% today, but 20 years from now, when you need it, if the tax rate is now 60%, you just lost a bet. The government is now taking more of your money in retirement when you need it most. The other thing that can change is the age that you decide to take your money. So there are a lot of things that we need to learn about permanent life insurance. We've been sold a bag full of goods with 401k because it was originally designed as a secondary means of retirement, not a primary means of retirement. Our national debt is over $23 trillion now. Okay? Can anybody tell me the government does not provide a product or service? Right? Our government, our U.S. government does not provide a product or service, but our national debt is $23 trillion. How does the government make up that national debt? By taxing us. So taxes are going to go up. The highest tax rate we've ever seen, you can Google it, 92%. Back in the 20s, 30s. That means you've only taken home 8% of your pay. We have to learn to avoid taxes, folks. That's our one biggest expense.
Not avoid taxes, that's what we want. We have to learn to reduce our taxes. Not avoid taxes.
Reduce. There are methods out there to reduce those taxes. Okay? And legally do that. But we just need access to that information. So that's been my point, to get that information out, because we've been sold a bag of goods for a long time.
Good deal. I think we're going to bring it toward a close, so I just want to say this for the younger couple or couples in general. Tell us some advice or words of wisdom you would give to the younger Rob and the younger LaShawne as you all were getting married before you got to this point, 24, 23, 22 years ago. What advice would you give to a younger LaShawne or younger Rob for forced marriage and just life in general?
That's a good question. I would say probably the first thing that came to mind was, don't take this wrong, but this thing isn't going to be easy. Right? I mean, 25 years, yes, it's been marriage or heaven on earth, but raising 3 children, doing all the things we do, it's not easy. But I will say this, there's no one else I would rather do life with than this lady that sits beside me. So it's not going to be easy, but understand it's worth it.
I probably would tell my younger self not to have kids on her. I think I got pregnant our first 3 months of marriage. Yeah, so I probably would have said wait a little bit longer.
But see, now y'all nesters. So you can So, you start walking around taking pictures. I'm sorry. So, tell us, as we're finishing up here, how can folks stay connected with you guys? How how can they follow you? LaShawne, you have an amazing conference that you do about women and wealth and generating wealth. And I don't think we can talk about building wealth enough. And Rob, I mean, you do a lot with speaking and particularly retirement strategies. So how can folks in the audience stay connected with you and continue to get this information about wealth and wealth generation?
So you can go to my website, which is simply LaShawneHolland.com. That's LaShawneHolland, LaShawneHolland.com. And I wanted to offer anybody who's willing. I have something free that I actually give out, and it's called Relentless 7. And it helps people change their mindset about money. And it gives them, worksheets and everything for them to be able to do. But it's LaShawneHolland.com/relentless. But you just Google my name on all the social media platforms. And we have a huge event once a year. It's called, we changed it to the Wealthy Revolution Live now because we had so many women that would come and say, we want to bring our husbands. And so this year I looked out in the audience, we had so many men. And then my oldest son, because he's an options trader, and so he's teaching with us at the conference now. He's teaching people how to trade options, and it's pretty amazing.
So if I could leave you with just one thing. Oh, and I'm on Instagram as @LaShawne's name. Love your family enough that you don't leave them in a predicament if something happens to you, right? So @LaShawne's name. But I just want to share something with you because both platforms are about economic empowerment. Do you know how we change our culture? How do we shift our culture? One family at a time. So it starts with each and every one of us. And one of the shifts that occurred in our conference this year is it is now more about family than anything else. Yes, it is about building and helping people build businesses, but it starts with the family.
That's powerful. So this has been great. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But I thank you both for coming down and sharing with us, and I'm gonna make sure that we get some more information actually on the city website about you guys and what y'all are doing and some information because more people need to hear this. But for those of you who are here, I know everybody's getting ready for Mr. Harper. We're excited to see him as well. Just for us, Night With The Devines, it airs every third Monday night at 9 p.m. on Facebook and on the Free Thinkers Radio website and on our YouTube channel. So please watch us every third Monday at 9 p.m. This week, so 2 days, we will have the amazing Nikita B. Williams and Terrence Williams as our guests, and they will keep us laughing, but as well as share some stuff, particularly about blended families and what they've done. So continue to watch us. Those of you, how many of you here are on Facebook? Okay, so if you're on Facebook, please go and like our page. It's Night With The Devines. Go like our page and see all the information, and we'll have some information about LaShawne and Rob on there as well. And then also follow them on social media, Rob Holland, LaShawne Holland, and of course, Tameika Devine and Jamie Devine. So with that, I think we are concluding. Thank y'all so much. Stay tuned, stay put, because Hill Harper will be on very shortly, and so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you.